It's the Code Talkers on WNCW. My name is Scotty down in Studio B. Man, we are set up and everybody is pretty jacked. We've got the Billy C. We've got some serious musicians in this room right now. Slide guitar revolutionary Billy Cardine, world-class percussionist River Gagarian is in here, as well as bass wizard Mr. Jake Wolf. Welcome, guys.
Thank you. Nice to be
So
here.
happy to have you in. This is a brand new project. For you guys. How long have you been sitting down and trying to make music together?
Well, probably getting on about a year. We've been working on a bunch of music, but when a couple of you have some kids running around, it's just hard to find the time to really kind of, focus on it. And so we just kind of scheduled in times whenever we could, and we've kind of treated it as almost a pre-production, getting ready for the studio, getting ready for the stage. A lot of the music is really orchestrated. It's all kind of, a lot of it is scored out, with sections, of course, for improvisation. But so it's not the kind of like, this is A, and here's the melody and let's have at it. So it's taken a little bit of time to poke around with, and that was the very first time that really anybody has heard it.
Yes, beautiful. Are you composing all the pieces, Bill, or is this a group thing?
I am largely, but actually that piece that we just played was one of Jake's that we worked on arranging together.
Sweet. That's the one. That's one tune is mine. The rest of them are mostly Billy's compositions. Yeah.
Very nice.
Just so far.
It must be a challenge. The three of you being highly desired musicians, you're playing in numerous combinations and groups to find the time to get together to actually share ideas. Do you share online? Do you send each other material and then work from that to develop it prior to getting together?
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning when we first started to get together, I said, Billy, let's write a lot of these ideas down because our memory slips and there's things in between. And so he was really lovely enough to write a lot of the stuff down and put it on paper and then put it up as a PDF file and we get it. And then we share some of the recordings we've made together and talk about sections and go over ideas so that when we get together and play, then we could just make music and get together. And that's the primary reason when you asked before the three of us got together to play, it's because there's a love there for a certain sound and certain ideas and concepts about music that we could work through in this relationship.
Right. Well, it would seem that you all share a certain background in attention to non-Western music. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah. So.
Yeah, for sure.
I know River spent a lot of time in the mountains in the East, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I play in the Middle East a lot too.
Right. And Jake, I believe you studied at Ali Akbar, right?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
For a short time.
And Bill, I guess you're in and out of Calcutta, right?
Yeah. My teacher lives in Calcutta.
Okay. Was there? I guess we would say there would be a pure intent to meld both the beautiful sounds of Appalachia and Eastern music.
It's kind of just pulling from every angle that we have to pull from, just in terms of just personal fulfillment, but there's probably not a recipe that we had in mind for how much of this and how much of that, but largely we're based here, and the Appalachian music scene is so vibrant and impactful, such a strong, sound, such a wonderful sound. And so I'd say that, that is largely, the base for everything. And then, River's got all these different things we can pull from that. And then I've got this, we can pull from that. And it all just sort of comes together.
The first thing that strikes me, guys, these are beautiful instruments all around the room. I would love for you guys to just quickly tell the listeners what it is you're playing and it's an incredible tone. Really.
Cool. I'm playing a 6-string bass, so it's like a 4-string bass with an added string on the top and the bottom for a little bit wider range, so it allows me to play some of these chords and back Billy up melodically while I'm still kind of holding down the low end and the rhythm. And this instrument is fantastic. This is made by this really small couple guys, really small shop in rural Italy, and I am totally excited to be able to play it every day. So. It's a wonderful thing.
Bill, you've got two amazing instruments over there.
Oh, thanks, man. This dobro that I'm playing here, or a resonator guitar, as they say, It's made by Tim Shearhorn. It's a koa wood, and there's no finish on it, you know, so it's just got that real kind of natural look to it. And then this other thing, and I may go ahead and bust this out for the next tune. It's called a chaturangi, and it was made for me by my teacher, Pandit Debashish Bhattacharya. It's basically well, what happened in India with slide guitars, you know, like in the 40s, the Hawaiian guitar worked its way over there. It's perfect for playing Indian music on a slide guitar because of the way that, you know, they kind of say if you're playing Indian music correctly, you're playing through the notes, you know, not Indian classical music, you know, not so much using the notes as targets, but it's like the way that you get in and out of them. So a fretless instrument or like a sitar where there's a lot of bend, you know, that really allows you to get that sort of feel. So they really latched on to the slide guitar in India, and in fact, if you're in India and you say you play guitar, they just assume that you play lap style slide. Like if you play guitar like, you know, a flat picker around here, they call it upright guitar or Spanish guitar. Okay. But anyhow, they took the Hawaiian guitar and then just added all the extra strings, you know, from like a sitar, and there's you know, they call them chikari, which is almost, in our speak, would be the equivalent of like the fifth string on a banjo. You use them as drones. Of course, that was pre Bill Keith, you know, and the fifth string was still just a drone instead of like, you know, an additional melody string. Right. But
and in Indian music, everything is, the drone is constant, and then you just play in a linear fashion, right? It's a single note system as opposed to chords.
Correct. Yeah. They don't use harmony in Indian classical music, so all the notes can be tempered to their most true possible forms. So you don't hear any kind of beats or anything. You know, when, like, if I play two notes together that are the same note, but I can angle my bar a little bit, and it sounds kind of dissonant. But if I straighten it up, there's a point where that goes away. And playing Western harmony, playing, you know, with a piano or, you know, a guitar, all these things are equal tempered, and so they're all the keys are good enough to be aight, you know, and we get used to it with all the harmony and everything. But if you put it up against, you know, like a strobe tuner, or if you put it up just against your ear with like a constant drone note, you can hear, you know, the third will be kind of sharp, you know, and the sixth, you know, you might want to flat the sixth a little bit. You might want to sharp the major seven a little bit to really get it to like sweeten properly. And so with that, the reason that the Indian classical scene just kind of set aside harmony is because they can play the most pure version of the note without causing any kind of like contrast. So they use melodic development and rhythmic cycles kind of in place of what we use as chord progressions, you know. So, I mean, a guy or gal, you know, might play in the key of D just for your whole life.
That's amazing.
Unless you're jamming with somebody else, you might crank it down to C or something, you know. But hey, you pretty much pick your key, and you're gonna get to know it real well.
Is it more of a challenge to compose with how many strings does that have? Like
22.
22 strings. So is it more? I have to assume it's more complicated to compose.
It's kind of like I mean, it's like anything, but you know, for slide guitars, you know, can kind of equate it to like pedal steel. It seems, you know, really crazy, and then you kind of get the system for it down, and it all kind of makes sense, you know.
Right. River, have you got anything extraordinarily weird? Because you always travel with us.
Thank you very much. Right. I'm so happy to be here, and I'm sitting down to get a quick visual. I have the classic WNCW bass drum, so that's here. Yes. Between my legs, usually which goes a snare drum, I have this large doumbek from Egypt, and that's this sound. To the left of that on the stand, I have a frame drum, about a 20-inch frame drum. And it's suspended. This great guy in California makes these stands. They're beautiful. I have a snare drum, a 10-inch snare drum to my right. Floor tom, hi-hat, Turkish ride cymbal, nice big one. I just got it. Splash. And then I play them all together by having my kit on my right. Billy's still tuning. And then with my left hand between my legs, I can play it. Throw in a little hi-hat. There's your visual.
Gosh, you know, humans love to pigeonhole things. Have we assigned a name to this musical fusion yet?
I think that was your idea, right? The global Americana.
Something like
Global
that, yes.
Americana. Yeah. That works. Yeah, there's. It seems to me that some cultures, their music seems more prone to be able to create trance states and meditative states. I guess I wonder if you guys have thoughts on why is music trance-inducing? What is it that kind of gets you there?
It's hard to say, but it's definitely that undeniable feeling. I mean, I hear that scientists have said that when you're playing music, that it's like the most active that your brain ever is. And that's probably a really kind of weak explanation of what they really said. But I mean, that was like generally the gist of what I got from it, is that you're so focused on between physical emotions and the emotion of the music itself, and you know, the notes, the chords, everything. I guess it just really transports you someplace. And then like as a player, I feel like the closer that I get to my vision, like the more time I can spend in that space.
Right. Have you guys, considering the beautiful music that you make, have you been involved in any sort of brainwave research or trance work in a clinical setting or anything?
I have.
Have you?
And with the company, I put out a CD specifically for theta brainwave state, a meditative CD, using singing bowls and gongs and long string instruments and so on.
Billy Cardine on the beautiful slide and dobros, and I will never pronounce the Indian version over there. Jake Wolf on the bass and Rupert Gregarian on percussion. This is the Billy C. Thank you guys so much. This has been truly beautiful.
Thanks so much for having us.
Thank you.
We turn to music now from Maceo Parker.